Good evening, ladies and gents. How are you all? 6 a.m. here. I say good evening, good morning for me. And I'm hoping it's going to be the best morning ever. So finally, I've been made to wait and wait and wait. But it's today. Today is the day I'm harvesting that special pond of NND Sankey, which is going to be awesome. But we're harvesting the Miss Toyota offspring. And yesterday, finally, I got to see a few fish darting at the bank. The water levels drained down. I've had all the time I've been here not been able to see a thing. And I tell you what, just one fish that I caught, even if its quality seemed out to be a bit shit, how the pattern dynamics changed on it from what I remember going back in there, absolutely mental. So, oh God, really cannot wait for that bit. There we go. So we'll get that video out as soon as possible as well. But yeah, it's going to be a fun day. On top of all that, I walked yesterday just as we were doing this. This will divide opinions as it does. Okada-san, the main goldfish man here, came back with a truck of the biggest Nisai. Absolutely, I thought they were Sansai, to be fair. It was really funny. And because I said to him, I says, what's gone off this year? He went, last year. He says, you said my Nisai weren't big enough. He's been carrying it around with him, bless him. Oh, funny one. So, yeah. But there was a few. The Kawari types, Tamasabra in there, to be honest, were amazing. And I've photographed a few in case he decided to stash them last night. So he's getting an headlock and potentially a stone cold stunner today if he's not careful, because my collection needs a few more of them, that's for sure. And a bit of new goldfish business as well, hopefully. So happy days. But I suppose, obviously, Japan special, guys. If you've got any Japan-related questions, general ones from the harvest, anything about what I've been up to, I'm going to run you through a few bits because there's been some really exciting stuff, to be fair. Had Fujo here last night and KB. We had Shabu Shabu, quite a nice sociable meal where everything's cooked on a boiling pot on the table. So that was nice. Japan projects kind of stuff, quite a bit of time been spent on that as well, which is amazing, and there's some absolutely banging progress. So yeah, I'm happy overall. I've not been around loads of places. It's just not because I'm not here particularly buying fish. In fact, I was thinking before I come on, what have I bought? I'm actually going to be able to say I've not bought any new fish. It would be a lie, but one, to be fair, I still need to offer it out. There was a Nisai DK Shiro that was just too good sat in that pond, and Makoto actually gave me quite a reasonable price for it. I would say reasonable for what I was expecting. So I have actually bought that to offer. It can be left here. I'll get to that one. And go on, what was the other one? I think that's been it, actually. I nearly, and I've got to say, I don't know if I'm going to end up letting myself down today. There was a shower at Hoshikin, and I had a customer with me that day who come and join me for the day, and he bought his most phenomenal Sansai, but this other one next to it, I don't know how I walked away from it. I must be growing, unreal. But I did the big one, the big day. For me, the absolute biggest day was Sunday, Denichi Toyota. Oh, actually, yesterday. Let's just recap. I went to a Marido harvest yesterday, Sansai harvest. I had a client's show there. I knew it was good. This fish, I managed to get into a certain fish house at Marido. Yeah, and almost get free rein. I actually learned something this trip, which he doesn't know, I now know. But even though I get let into said place, and the general rule is, so long as it's not sold, I'll be happy to offer it and obviously quote accordingly. So I remember there was a Sankey, I think it was 2 years, maybe a year ago. It might have been last year. Anyway, who knows? That was like first fish I picked it up. And when we got back to see the boss, because a photograph I'm taking to him, and he said, "Oh no, sorry, that one's sold." That fish was harvested and actually sold 2 days ago as a bigger fish. So even though you're there, you get to the place, it's so hard to beat these guys. It really is. So if you ever want to understand why I tend to be how I am, I've had over 20 years of exposure to this stuff ingrained into me. And it's so funny. But he doesn't now know that he told me that was sold, and he only actually sold it the other day. Which, fair play, it's up to them, that one. And obviously the 3-year-old and 4-year-old prices at Marido, he can get the money. It's not like at other farms. He can get big money for them bigger fish. He sold the full pond out in a day, a fish up to 90 centimeters. So it was absolutely wild. But wind back to Sunday, I got on the train very early start to the day. It's actually going to be the first video. It's the first video I recorded since I've been here, and I think it's going to drop on Sunday. Fingers crossed. But I got on the train nice and early. Got myself down to Nagoya, and Hiroshi very kindly came and picked me up from Nagoya Station. It's about a 50-minute drive to his farm in Toyota City, and obviously I've seen update pictures of everything I've got there, but this farm, I think I've touched on it a few times now. It's amazing. I think what I've kind of fell for with it is that he as a person, it's like being here and dealing with the guys at NND. Very personal, very relatable, absolutely loves it. The passion for his own fish oozes out of him. Yet he's a Denichi operation, so that side of it I kind of look at and go, this is amazing. You can't get that at Denichi Niigata. I mean, Shigeru is a bit of a character, that he's a bit frosty anyway. And it's I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a beast of an operation. In comparison, Denichi Toyota is a big place, but this one's a beast. But it's the quality of the fish. That's why obviously I could have chose to double down at Denichi Niigata, but it's what I kind of saw in his fish now 5-6 years ago. And when I'm talking around to a few breeders, showing them a few fish, Toyota, his bloodlines are so highly rated amongst breeders. The quality, sometimes his fish probably lack the desirable pattern for you guys as a hobby perspective, which might be where he's not elevated quite to the same height. Denichi Niigata seemed to have really nailed that. But when we talk about depth of quality, he's smashing it. And what I've loved is that the Azakara, the level of fish care there. He's got a particular member of staff who seems to be some kind of absolute fish ninja. You even just look at him and go, yeah, he's a serious dude. So the results every year, and they become so reliable. I've got ultimate trust in him. So when it's high-end fish in particular, whether it be my own or for clients or whatever, it's obviously a choice that when I'm looking at that, because I know well going, right, realistically, that's a 60 cm Nisai. There's every chance that should hit at least 70 as Sanzai and then go beyond and all the rest of it. Well, it doesn't quite always happen at some farms because you can get obviously a bad year in a mud pond. But not only that, sometimes the level of care, you can get a little bit like sometimes the passion with the breeder might not be there for that particular fish. So they might favour some over another, which is an interesting one. But ultimately, and he does concrete pond raising as well, I always seem to see results within his fish I think, yeah, they're bang on point. As if I was concrete pond raising it back home as well, and actually exceed it a bit, which I would expect. His infrastructure is far greater than mine as well. So I'm like, bravo. And this thing's just blossomed and grew. And I think where it's really kicked off is that under my umbrella now is a series of fish, whether it be my own or customers, that has grown and are a lot of the genuinely top pieces at the farm, and even a lot of fish that he personally favors. And that's where, for me, a few connections with certain breeders has kicked off through that, because they know, the depth of knowledge and understanding of fish is on a level. And yeah, so that's just sort of blossomed. But the fish yesterday and what I've seen this year, it's gone through the gears. There's a Kinsen line Kohaku now, which is 88 cm. He's put 6 centimeters on that in less than 12 months since we had the last measure up. Absolute beast of a fish, and all the other stuff in there as well. In fact, I'm gonna, because I've not shared this video yet, I'm going to just drop this onto my thing and share it with you, because there's a particular fish I invested in 2 years ago, which was it cost me. Don't get me wrong, it cost me, but where I thought it was going to go, I thought I'd have a far bigger battle than I actually had to get hold of it. So, and this year, this was when the video and picture landed with me, it just absolutely wiped me out, because I was like, oh, mental. So I think when you get to see this in a minute, I mean, just this alone, characteristics of the body, the Benny, the Sumi, you could not fall in love with. And he made the decision himself to concrete pond raise it this year, and obviously it's been massively beneficial to it, because it's pulled the Sumi up. It's just remarkable. So let me find this quickly. We'll start with that one, and then we move to obviously what he's been doing. So he shared with me, I think it was some point last year, the Pandora project, and the vision that he's got is to raise, consistently big show, big bodies, but the high Denichi quality as well. And it's this year, it's the start. I'm not going to lie, I was skeptical with this when I saw it, because the first Nisai I saw, or was it the Tosa? I can't remember. I kind of looked at the body lines and I thought, yeah, because one thing I've always admired about his shower is the body line that it's got. It's very untypically shower. And these things have been packing some size. I mean, Miss Toyota now, who I've been using as the parent fish, 85 cm, 4.5 years old. She's going to hit 90 next year. I can just see that coming with ease. And then beyond, and there's just the body's there. You can just keep throwing food at that body all day long, and she's just going to get bigger. The height behind the head, I'm not sure I could ever capture it really in a picture, just how kind of intimidating and crazy it looks. So I saw the bodies, I think, at Nissan, and I was like, yeah, they've changed. They looked slightly more weighty. Now, this Maraju Pandora, the Tancho short, I would say that is slightly more typical of that line. Although, obviously, that Tancho shower was nearly a meter long. So I got to bear that in mind. But this year as Sansai, I come up and he genuinely couldn't wait to show me the fish. And when I just looked in there and I was like, what the fuck? This is just sheer insanity. The quality level, but the size and the bodies they were carrying. Biggest Sansai in there was like 73 cm. I mean, it's cruising around like a 4-year-old fish at most places. If it was here at NND, I would expect that to be 4 years old. And he's just like over the moon. And finally, I think all the customers, they were all customer-owned fish, have all seen the results now. And it led to the live auction at Denichi, where he had fish entered Pandora offspring, went absolutely nuts price-wise, absolutely nuts. Everything's been a bit nuts this year anyway, but that just went crazy. So, and I'm like, well, well done. Again, you've had a bit of vision here and done it. And it's, from the first shot. So then this time I got talking, and it was really interesting, because I was talking to him about different spawning techniques. It's actually helped me learn a few new Japanese words as well, especially one for artificial spawning. So I know he uses artificial spawning, but the Pandora project, he actually told me, well, the first part he told me was, which is going to lead into something very funny, mate. All the Showa offspring this year, new season Tosai at Denichi Toyota, all have Pandora blood now. He is fully vested in it, backing it. He's there. So, but the crazy part of it all is right now, and because it's been a joint project with Mariju, both Hiroshi and Shigeyoshi at Mariju only have one male from that Tancho Showa that they've been using. How fucking bonkers is that? So there'll be enough offspring generally now that they should be able to get some continuity to this and get to the next generation pretty soon. But how wild. So is this artificial spawning that he does? That's how he's had that one sperm extraction from it and managed to spread it across every female. It's just absolutely mental, but very, very clever at the same time, I think. And yeah, and just while I'm so happy to be so open, and I've even just 2 visits, I've learned so much. I've been very open with him about what I'm doing here in relation to spawning and wanting to do, and he's added a lot to it for me, which has been, been amazing. So enough of that. Let me just get this video loaded up and share this with you, because this thing's not normal. It's really not. And this is a 4-year-old 77 centimeter. Now, this is not Pandora. This is the original. This is actually from Black Lisa parent set, which is the same as Miss Toyota, as my parent fish. Right, there we go. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Right, let me change that over.
Wow. Just wow. Not really got much more to say.
Now, I still can't quite believe that right now I get to call that my fish. That is fucking ridiculous. And everything's on now that she's being prepped for the All Japan. And I mean, my God, there's a chance she could do some damage, because that is one special Showa. It really is. So yeah, exciting. Very, very exciting stuff with that one. And then that leads me on to the bit of news I've got to share in all this, because obviously with this relationship I've been building with him, I started working. I get an understanding of how breeders work and what goes on. And obviously I always make plans for what fish I want and want to be raising and all the rest of it. Now, although he tends to be slightly better value than the Niigata operation, he still is Toyota. I got some fish out of the auctions last year, individual Tosai, but they still do carry, even just off the starting bids alone, they carry quite a high price point in regards to the sort of in comparison to the general market. So there was two parts to it. I thought, I really want some Tosai. That would be great. And there was a particular variety I know he could produce, but he never has there. So a few conversations were had, and the headline right now is, I have 3 batches of Denichi Toyota Tosai that will actually be landing in the UK next week. This has come together a treat, and I never actually even expected them to be this good for the deal and sort of price and everything that we agreed. It's floored me. And when I got there, it got even better because I've seen some, he'd sent me some samples, and I've got some of those to share with you. But what got even better is I just presumed that in a lot of instances, these would be a mix from all different parent sets. I just ran a bit of another video I need to get. All different parent sets, and it actually wasn't the case. The situation, so the Showa that I have are all Pandora offspring, because obviously that's what he's done this year. So although the females are mixed, they'll be mixed. They are generally, because obviously the male, they all have Pandora blood in them, which I was like, oh shit. And there's a particular fish I have there, and he was all just going like, oh, I've seen so many patterns like this one, and the characteristics all seem so good because of a primary female he's using apparently makes up the majority of what was in there. And then the Kohaku, yes, I've got those as well. That came, and they are actually all from one set, and it's actually the most popular parent fish, female offspring that it has, Nanoko. And I actually have another fish, Shock, from him. And let me just see if I can. Don't know what video I actually took of it. And this fish is 3 years old right now, and in fact, I'll get the picture. 70 centimeters, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome, and that I've got them coming back. The third part to it, which I just think is going to be cool. I can't wait to grow these out. This is going to be insane. Hyotsori. So Denichi Hyotsori. Oh my god. And this gets even more interesting. So I've raised a few Denichi Hyotsoris over the years, and because they obviously derive from Showa, it's not a pure Hyotsori bloodline. You get a Benny in them. It's very similar to Denichi Showa Benny, and I had one in the past. It was hard to explain how red it was. It was almost trying to cross into being another color, and it just glows. And the Sumi develops slightly differently, develops more typically like Showa, so that can be really quite fun. But they're also backed by the Denichi body as well. And the bit that gets really, really interesting is that, of course, because they've come from Showa, the Hyotsoris are also all Pandora offspring. And just wow. Just wow. I mean, how fucking cool is this going to be? Let me just change to this because, oh, there we go. This, let me share this with you. So in relation to the Kohaku, this fish here is my 3-year-old Nanoko Kohaku at Toyota. Now, this is a fish I am planning to hopefully be a parent fish. Fingers crossed, all being well next year. Awesome fish. I mean, just look at it. The body form, Benny quality. Wow. Just wow. It's not got that, for me, the pattern's not kind of like, if you're looking at it as a showfish, anything like that, it'll divide opinions on that one. But the technicalities of it, this thing, if it goes on its usual rates, is, I think, will be the minimum 78 centimeters next year. I'm lucky because he really, really likes the fish. So I know it's going to get the absolute best ponds, etc. And I mean, yeah, could, if it has a really good summer, hit 80 cm. Going to be phenomenal. yeah, and that came from obviously the understanding I've already got with this fish. I actually got this Nisai in December. It was just sat there in a pond, and I know why. I don't know if it had been overlooked or he'd kept them out the way. You generally go and ask, are there any Nisai available? And he just says no. But he said yes that year, and I pulled that out, but it was really slim. The bone structure characteristics were huge, but it just had no body volume whatsoever. It's just exploded this year, which is amazing. It really is. So the Tosai I have come in basically brothers and sisters to that fish. Like I say, from Nanoko, this main line that he's got. So the cool bit with you, I'm going to show you the samples I've got of them right now. And as ever, we've decided to put something together for him because I think it's such a unique opportunity to get on them. There's not big numbers either, but I mean, just how cool. So what we're going to do is we're not doing an event per se with them. But because I know demand's going to be high for these, we're going to do our usual system for selection. So a live selection. What we're going to be doing on this Sunday is releasing them for sale to buy on the Koi Online website, even with a multi-buy offer. That's going to be fun. But yeah, and so what that's going to do is going to be obviously like a ticket for entry, like we always do with these things, because these are going to be sold with 3 months of growing, and that 3 months is sort of going to kick in after the quarantine period as well. So it's going to basically take us through to spring pretty much, when they'll be available for you. At that point, I'm going to do some selections, and there will be options for quite a number of the fish, because out of the batch I've got, I'm going to be selecting the best ones for you guys. I'm not actually keeping any of these. Well, if it's unsold, I may well keep some, but the best are being selected and put forward for purchasers to or buyers to select from. Additional options to maybe keep them through with me for the summer and grow them through to Nisai as well, which will be bonkers. Yeah, cool stuff. So like I say, this Sunday we're going to drop that, so you'll get your ticket, and then from there we will set a live selection event where when the fish are ready, we'll get everything photographed. And as ever, we're not quite decided full numbers yet, but if we're selling 40, we will release 80 fish. We always double up, so obviously through that event there's shitloads of fish for you to pick from and loads of choice. Even if you come up somewhere near the back, we wouldn't have that any other way. So I just think this is going to be amazing. The best part about it all is that the fish, and they're already decent size, we're getting on for kind of 18 to 23, 24 cm. The fish with the 3 month growing period are going to be £295 each on a single piece. That's the bit that's just like, fucking crazy. You know, they're going to be a substantial size Tosai by spring, even because I'm going to be using one of the 3.5K ponds for the growing as well. It's all rigged up with the shower. This thing's going to be, I think, the wildest kind of grow out we've done yet. And given those genetics and how these fish, I've grown some this year, obviously seen it, this is going to be mad. So let me show you that, and I'll move on to the rest of the show. I know I've spoke a lot about that, but I didn't want to undersell even just how amazing that day was, that place is, and how much I rate it. And that kind of quality is just not around here in Niigata that much. You've got to go to the absolute, obviously, you know, Denichi here, but you're then just talking, you know, Marido, a Nogami, places like that. But even there, the numbers of the fish don't kind of even rival what Hiroshi's chucking out. So, yeah, let me show you. Bearing in mind, these videos were sent literally right after harvest. So 2 things to consider is that, as always, because they're such young fish, the hue of the Benny is not there yet. You're looking at orange as opposed to red. So it won't be long, just with the changing light at my place, but also then the diet they'll be on, that colour will start lifting up. But yeah, just look, and obviously the shower, there's a lot to change in the Sumi and all the rest of it, but it does. So let me boot these onto here. What should we start with? Let's go with the Kohaku. Just look at them. The big thing that absolutely shocked me as well was the pattern level. So many good patterns, but already there, look, you can see the bone structures are just crazy. The quality of that skin. Mega stuff. I'll just loop that one more while I'm getting the next one in. Oh, I cannot wait. You get that sort of body and knowing them genetics, these are just gonna absolutely fly. Get piling that Saki down them. I think that's the nice part, the really nice part as well amongst this is that the oh god, look at them. The nice part is that you're going to see such radical change as well because they are such young toe size. So by the time I get to, sort of March, I'm going to be bonkers. Look at that. That is an exciting batch of shower. Again, pattern level, phenomenal. But you can see some of the early signs there, the Sumi quality in those bodies again. I mean, bearing in mind at that point there, these are about three or 4 months old. Wild. And they've already grown even since then in the pond that they're in. It's madness. And now for the really big one. I say really big one. I think the show will go out, but this, trust me, to watch this as a grow out is going to be mind blowing. Now, yes, please. I mean, they're almost yellow looking there, but give them, I think, 3 months and they're already going to be red. Give them 6 months, they'll be cherry red. Absolutely wild. And look at the pattern levels on them as well. Denichi Toyota Hiyotsuri from Pandora. Didn't think I'd be saying that. Crazy stuff. You can already see, obviously, there's a bit of size difference in there, but I've seen these, obviously, when they're at the farm. They have grown so much already. It's ridiculous because he's had these in a big pond as well. So there we go. Enough about Toyota, but do bet there's going to be the full Toyota, like I say, video dropping on Sunday. But we're actually going to put those release up, like I say, on Sunday on the Koi Online website. So I think we'll call it 10 a.m. We'll have all that set up and ready. And like I say, £295 with 3 months growing. It's going to be a bit more technically. You're going to be more 4 months because the quarantine period I don't class as the growing part. Selection by lucky draw, just to keep that bit fair. And there will be, because I'm not 100% sure on numbers, there's not going to be crazy amounts of each, but whatever there is, we'll double up on it for each variety. So you've got absolutely shed loads of choice in there as well. So do United fans get a discount? Should do. Absolutely should do. Great people, United fans. Yeah. There we go, guys. I can't say, like I said, we're going to put a multi-buy price on that. It's actually going to be 2 for 550 and 3 for 750 if anybody's feeling mega fruity. And that won't be, you could mix that up however you wanted, but you could get the ultimate trio there of one each. So Few people not going to be in Bad Books. I'm going to be in Bad Books on Sunday. Yes, I think a lot of us are used to being there, aren't we? Just wow. I hope you all, as many as possible, are going to come along on that journey with me with those, because this is what I love trying to do, is find a way to make fish from these big farms as accessible as possible. Could have quite easily got them and tried to, absolutely, because no one else is going to have them, rip the arse out of it. But no. And I think with the growing as well, like I say, you can't imagine, that 3 months is roughly translate to around 12 centimeters. Certainly in that big pond, and you've got that starting block of, like, say, 18 to 23, discount the ones that are bigger. They're going to be mental. So you're going to have a proper jumbo toesai in spring. And like I say, we will assess from there, and some fish will have, or probably, a decent amount of the potential for the additional feed to grow through the summer as well. Right, let me see. I got proper lost in that as well. Let me have a quick flick through the comments. Like I say, I am focusing on Japan stuff here, guys. So if there's anything buried in here that's not related, I'm going to skip over it. Let's have a look straight away there. So that's really a question. My question is, how have NND seemingly had such a good growing season where others have apparently struggled with dry weather causing lack of water in many areas? Yes, I think one of the interesting things with this, Satch, and no doubt, obviously, that information is coming from videos of other people out here, is you will get it around at farm. So it was a dry summer. If you remember, I've been here pretty much all summer, on and off, doing my selections from my spawning. So, and I get around places. So when I got up to NND, the interesting part here is that NND, quite a number of the NND ponds, on my second to last trip in the summer, or the middle one, I mean, some of them were scary low. Not all of them, but some of them were scary low. So he's done a good job. But Makoto's abilities in raising fish in mud ponds is right up there as well. Now, there is a pond, actually one yesterday. I'm going to share a fish with you because this has been a crazy story. But one of them yesterday, and the result, the fish got the length. It really improved. It could come on, but it could have had a lot more volume. And that's what tends to be the part that suffers the most, is when they can't feed heavy because of a lack of water, and it's warm, the water's warm, the things stretch out. So although it was still 65 cm at Sansai, I felt like the volume could have been even more than what it was. But the bit I hate about this is something gets said by a breeder to somebody, and whether it's lost in translation or what you tend to get is a lot of secondhand information. So it'll come from, obviously, dealers driving around, or got agents or whatever they're doing. Becomes a general thing. It's been heard at one or two places that, it's been a bad summer. Now, obviously, when conditions are adverse, it then comes down to the breeder's ability to deal with those adverse conditions as well. But it ends up being generalized as a mass sweeping statement. Obviously, you see Denichi Toyota has not struggled. Dainichi Niigata hasn't struggled. If we come back here, NND have still done very well. It won't be in every case, but done very well, because don't forget, NND's mud ponds are scattered all over, not just in one place. They're all in different mountains. There's mountains here in Kakimachi. They've got an area that's one way. Yomogi Hira is the main place where Makoto's got most of the ponds. Mukaichi Machi. There's all different places. And what I came to learn over the summer through talking about is different mountain. It depends on the situation of water availability, depending on the mountain as well. So there's actually, I was with Saito in the summer. Now his ponds are in Mushigame, and it's actually deep into the mountains heading towards Sakamaki. And that mountain particularly, he says, always has water. So he's been absolutely fine. Say NND struggled, but despite struggling, he's managed to pull it round. And it wasn't all summer as well, because on my very last trip, those ponds that were struggling were all full again because they'd had a shitload of rain. So it was a period within the summer where it was a real struggle as well. And like I say, not everybody. Where else? Nogami hasn't been too bad, and that's a completely different area as well, closer to where I've been raising the NND Sankey's. So it's really case by case with this stuff. General sweeping statements drive me crazy, but that's what happens here. You get a little thing going around. It's like, oh, this, but no one actually. I'm going around talking to guys myself bit by bit, and I've actually been here and physically seen it and had it explained to me in different scenarios as well. So, like I say, broad sweeping statements drive me fucking mad. And that's exactly why, Satch, it comes, there's lots of reasons. And you sort of pivot and get around it, don't you? If you've got the talent and the ability to do that. So the care level at every farm and every breeder is not equal. Some breeders are not that great at raising fish. Some put them into mud ponds and just do the bare minimum, sort of gets them through. The mud pond does a little bit of the heavy lifting. And that's why you see kind of, the normal traditional size Nisai that come out. Some breeders might overstock ponds. Loads to it. In the case of the NND grow out event, I mean, that result surpassed. So I've been generally telling people, I think I expect them around 40 to 45. The average was actually 45 to 50. And the funny bit with that is as well, Makoto gave me a bollocking because we crept a few more fish in for reserves and backups, and the stocking was a bit higher than what he'd have wanted it. So they could have even been a bit bigger. So obviously stocking management is another part as well. And then again, it just depends how organized they are. So the fry ponds around the pond where my Miss Toyota offspring are, he actually reserved. So one mud pond he took offline this year, didn't use it for breeding. He just used it as a water reserve. And there's a petrol generator pump there. And he's been using that to top up ponds all around the area and keep the toe side well supplied with water all summer. So it can be mitigated around, but again, skill level, care level, amount of giving a fuck, all of that's going to make a massive difference in that scenario, mate. I missed that, Mickey. I think I've got into pretty decent detail. We missed that bit as well. Mickey, what you can see on his profile picture there, this male shower I sold him. Oh my God, it's going to be another, its challenge for the All Japan this year is going to be vast. It's right near the top end of its size class it's going to be in as well. I have seen shoulders on a fish like it, but not many. It's spastic. It's absolutely ridiculous. And again, quality levels come up again this year. It's going to be a hard fish to beat because there's so few with that body type, and that body type gets Japanese judges weak at the knees. So going to be wild. Now then, Dan, what are you doing taking an holiday, Dan? Anyway, I've just noticed there, mate. I thought you should be strapped to your keyboard, mate, getting our beloved platform ready, pal. Iceland as well, Jesus. Yes, Mike, hopefully. Nice to see so many of you tuned in again as well. I know it's a bit later over there. I have done so well, I'm telling you. I did end up with one new fish at Toyota. It went how it kind of normally. I'm not going to say too much actually because it'll ruin the video a bit. But let's just say I got there in the end. Again, just something I've got in mind because the whole thing with parent fish is, I'm going to need a pool of them. Trial and error, fail fast is going to be the key to success. And for that, you need a pool of fish. And I'm not going to be going out there and paying millions of yen for big, ready to use pieces from these big farms. So you've got to be investing in that pool constantly and bringing fish through. But what I like about that is as well, you get to actually understand the fish a bit more as well when you're doing it that way, and understand its characteristics as you watch it grow through, as opposed to just buying it bigger. Oh, that'll be the goldfish. Yes. They were good, Lorraine. They really, really were good, especially them Kawari ones. That's amazing stuff. I'd love to meet him one day. To be fair, Robert, what a guy. That's let's say quite a big influence on my early years. Certainly that book, Coy Health and Disease, absolutely cracking stuff. Well, there you go. There you go, Terry. You got the info now, mate. I hope my mother's been tuning in. You still watching, mother? She probably got bored of hearing me waffle about all that Toyota stuff, to be fair. Wow, so many. Oh, there we go. Look, nice one, Simon. Appreciate that. Back to Belgium. If you could get them back, but no, unfortunately, Ben's site visits. Well, you can come and collect fish. You know, we can sell you them online. You certainly come and collect them, but not physically walk around choosing on site, mate. Oh wow, where was we at that point? Oh, I think that was the big Denichi show, wasn't it? Obviously, I've got a bit of a delay on this one. And yes, plan is that she'll be going to the old Japan. Oh, plenty of wows out. That was definitely that period. Miss Toyota Offspring event. Everything's still set for that. No changes. So that's all about that. That's another view. So we're at the Kohaku at that point. A big fish. Is that the Kohaku? Oh no, I think Terry was there with the Toyota Tosai, picking one out already. How's connection been, guys, as well? Because it tends to be, it can be a bit hit and miss here. I hope it streamed through all right. Right, so I'm going to speak to him about that. There's a likelihood he'll let me have a pile of blanks to go with them. I don't foresee it being a problem. I'm not guaranteeing it right now, but I'm going to speak to him about that today. So we can do that, not individual ones, because that's obviously, can you imagine the work for him and all that with the price point we've got it at as well. Got to get yourself in there, Mickey. Trio, mate. Get you send the trio. Dan, have you noticed any interesting trends this year? Are breeders focused on anything in particular at the moment, or any interesting varieties? Seems to be a lot of Deutsch Naragoki type. Again, I've not really been around, Dan. I really changing what I do when I'm here, because I'm just like the whole thing of the rat races buying Nissan right now. It just doesn't tie in with my business model. It's obviously the Tosai I do pay attention to, spend a bit of time skirting around, but yeah, Deutsch Naragoki's been. I don't think there's as much. There's probably about the amount there's been, because I haven't seen anybody particularly new cropping up with any of it. What you might tend to find is a shift in what people are buying. Therefore, you get to sort of exposed to a little bit more of it when you're seeing stuff around social media and all the rest of it. So here itself, no, nothing particularly new. Kobayashi has been working Marisen on an Aragoki line for years. He's got a bit of a variation of it now. So I think that's what you tend. And don't forget, all of a sudden, it's just when one picks it up with the level of copying in the industry, you just quickly, everybody follows suit, and before you know it, it feels like a thing. It's because everyone's bought one and pushing them out there. But no particular trend. I think the big one is obviously breeders are constantly working on new stuff. From a Go Sankey perspective, I think one of the biggest things happening right now is Hiroshi's challenge with Pandora Bloodline Shower. I can't really see too much more that's kind of making waves in that kind of respect, although obviously they're constantly working and refining on stuff. I went for dinner with Kansuke and Saito the other night. I mean, what two great minds there. What I learned. I'll tell you one thing I did learn. I'm not even afraid to say this again because I love moments like that. Kansuke, I mean, 50 years of breeding, pretty much. Getting into the depths of bloodlines and for parent fish, and now getting some great advice again. He made me feel like a fucking absolute amateur with that stuff again. And I was just grinning about it inside because I know at that point my head's being filled with loads of new stuff. But obviously, a lot of it's from times where I wasn't even alive. Probably I wasn't. I'm fucking 35. Way back. So and having someone like that who's so open and willing to share. But sorry, that got me onto Saito. Obviously, that guy's always mucking around with something interesting as well. Shunker he's been trying to get more of. Hasn't quite. It's been a relatively small spawning this year. But he's got some great new parent fish in the works for a few bits. It's just whether it can actually be executed and delivered. So, and you get some bits that you might have had. You've seen obviously fish coming through, like what Aoki's been doing, new iterations and variations, or as they're working on something a little bit more. And obviously, as each year passes, it gets a bit more refined. Coda, I had a good chat with him. He actually has been. I was just about the whole Goshki show, I think, because I've seen so much of it in the toe side this year and Ginrin. And yes, it's something he's really actively trying to pursue. But as he said, not easy. I mean, what a guy with the amount of stuff he produces. So, yeah, always little bits, big sweeping trends. I'm not sure right now, but like I say, I think from a Gosanki perspective, this Pandora thing's going to really grow arms and legs. Dave, obviously we're working on all that stuff, mate. I want that all out, like I say, fair, so everybody gets everything at the same time. If you were to plan your first ever trip to Japan, is there a minimum amount of time you would recommend, and other places you would say are a must visit? Yeah, there's certainly must visits, but I think it's more looking at what kind of trip you want, because what you don't want to do is just be, you can tend to be stuck on the arse end of a dealer's buying trip, which is just very full on. And if that's what you want, that's fair enough, but it's just fish farm, fish farm, fish farm, fish farm, fish farm every day. So you probably want to bear that in mind. Most places, all the big guys are always a must visit places, but it's also then going to depend on what areas you're visiting with whoever you're with at the same time as to what places you're going to get to see. But the real understanding comes from being at those bigger places. And don't think you're not going to get, one of them guys just stood pond side spilling everything out to you, but it's just going and seeing the quality level, getting exposure to that quality level, even getting exposure to some of the pricing that goes on. Again, another Sakai auction live at the minute with Nisai. I was actually looking at male fish, and let's just say on that male perspective, yeah, $7,000's not buying much. It just fucking nuts. And I've seen, before I went to sleep last night, I saw a Nisai Sankey on there that was about 80 or 90 grand. I think, I don't know where it ended. It's where it was. It was still bidding up. I've seen 20, 30,000 pound Nisai sold on more than one occasion. Males at 10 and 15,000 pound. I think that's a big bit, getting that. It helps broaden your understanding in koi in general. And that's obviously that exposure that I've had for so long now at all levels. It's really, really important. But yeah, most places, all the big guys for me. But then there's special ones nestled amongst it. But that special bit, that visit can be changed depending on who you're with. Kansuke he's a great guy anyway for most things, but I've always really got on with him. So, his willingness maybe to throw fish and dive into stuff might be different than if you're there, you're just walking with some guy who's not necessarily being a lot and just looking to buy a few fish. And that's what makes Kansuke special for me. But it's obviously the relationship I have with him changes that dynamic. But it has always been a special place to visit, right up in the mountain. It's very high up and just amazing ponds full of fish, and a great guy to go with it. So there'd be plenty of them, Dan, if I sat and went through. But like I say, it's case by case, and it is going to be heavily dictated by what kind of trip you're on and who you're with. There you go, Satch, you see. No, not as bad. And still plenty of big fish around. Like I say, I mean, look, say the Denichi guys pulling one pin Nisai out, Hoshikin's fish have all looked good. Seen some sans iron bits come in the other day. So yeah, it really does vary. Hi, Ricky, what kind of temperature range do the fish go through from leaving the farm in Japan till they arrive at your farm? Yeah, so it depends on the box that we use. In this instance, I believe, I've not actually checked. I don't know if we're using, no, we won't be. We'll be using cardboard because of the season with the Toyota one. So it can fluctuate. They will cool a lot, right down to being, I should imagine, will probably be around 12 degrees on arrival at this time, which is actually quite good because it allows us to bring them up as well and bring them in a bit cooler. Through part of the quarantine process, exert a little bit of stress. I'll probably have the ponds still around 18, so they do have that initial jump of temperature, which I think is a good thing. So yeah, cool. But again, summer, so we had the shipment come in September, I think, was it? That water was a lot warmer. They did great, but we used the EPS polystyrene box, which obviously gives us more temperature stability. And it was a case because we were trying to cool everything down at that point and then keep it all cooler. And I think they arrived at around 20 degrees, which was also really impressive given how hot it was everywhere. I'm presuming that's the Denichi fish, pal. Funny. I agree, mate. I agree with that. Martin the Coising. Hi, Ricky. How many of them have you missed Toyota bats do you expect to keep in Japan to grow for several years? I have no idea. So obviously, I know what I'm going to expect with those NND Sankey that I've got in a mud pond, because my experience with NND Sankey and what I've seen of them, I know what's expecting to come. A few fish will have changed a bit. We'll see how many top level pieces there are. I know from that batch there's going to be quite a few. In the case of my Miss Toyota, so much is unknown because they, all show her develop differently. She's got a different set of genetics to NND shower typically. And through the selection process, they look different. How I saw the ones back home from the last selection change in that time period got me even more excited for what's coming with this today. And having seen what I saw yesterday with that one that really kind of broke the surface and bits of the others, I'm not sure. I really don't know what's coming. So I would like to obviously keep as many as possible. If the result's good, if I'm happy with the quality level, I'm going to have to get Makoto in a headlock and say, give me one of these tanks in here so I can keep some through to next year. But obviously, that's the tricky part right now, is I am at the mercy of these guys and the infrastructure that they have, because I don't have my own infrastructure in place at the moment. Because obviously, otherwise, I would probably be saying quite a lot to obviously fully get to understand how they develop and change. And obviously, for me, it would be nice, for looking. Big thing out of that is there a potential male fish to come out of these that could help in future developments with some characteristics that I'd like to see. So a lot of unknowns, mate, but they will be known later. I would say that's been the general thing, but like I say, I've not had, because I just won't get involved in that shit. I've got no interest in it, but everybody's here saying it seems to have been busier. Fish are selling like mad everywhere, where I've been, like I say, Marido the other day, pond full of like 80 to 90 centimeter fish, all gone. I was like, what? Yeah. I was fucking crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, for whatever reason that is, I don't know. What can tend to happen is when you see that demand, everyone knows it's getting more competitive. It does even get even worse off the back of that. So yeah. But yeah, and again, I think it's just a bit more forward planning. Like for me, that's why I'm relaxed about it, because of the raising model that I've got, producing our own Nissan anyway. Stuff like this Toyota deal, it's all done and said in good time. It's planned, it's thought through, which enables me to get them. And obviously, yeah, I'm chilled, because we've got a nice supply of fish at places. We've got all our deal with Saito done this time again. I've got the first batch of them arriving next week. I've got like the NND Sankey that I've done in the summer. That's very rare. And them occasions, that's a mud pond of fish that hadn't had any of the tatigoi removed at such a really early stage. Structured something really nice, Miss Toyota offspring. That's for me the way it's planned, it's controlled. I really think about what I want to be buying and raising as well. It's not just a case of different in the sense that I don't really treat it like you'd think typical business dealer. God, I need to have some of everything to try and sell some of everything. I don't work like that. I generally start with, right, what am I interested in and what could other people find interesting, so we can do a bit of a deep dive on it as well. If it's not something I'm really clued into, I can get clued into it. We can share and learn that journey through the YouTube channel and all the rest of it. That's how I start making my analysis, and that allows me to kind of work backwards and go, right, thinking about doing this year, have a chat with breeder. Is it going to be likely, possible? And go from there, and then obviously pivot if I need to as well. Glad to hear it. It's not a stupid question, Mickey. It's a big bit, mate. I've been enjoying a lot of steak this time. I've not been out very much. I tend to cook here most nights. But I mean, crazy this, a really decent piece of Wagyu from the supermarket runs at about 8 to 9 quid with the exchange rate as it is now. So you're sort of like, why not? Why not? But possibly, I would say KB, who is my mega food guide in this area, took me to a new ramen shop day before yesterday. I was really, that was a completely different experience. Really sort of a high class feel to it all for still what was like an 8 quid bowl of ramen. Were a really different atmosphere, taste. Really happy with that, and being my favorite food, it's nice to do it. Fair enough. Well, there we go. Dan's jumped in and answered that one. Nice one, Dan. Every video I see so many dreamy fish. Oh yeah, because a lot of the time, pal, we don't manage to actually get them to the website before they sell. We've actually had a little period, and we had a chat about this. Obviously, we want to be selling fish all the time, but knowing what we had coming with the Toyota stuff, we've purposely reduced what we've been putting out because I didn't want to. If somebody was looking to spend that sum of money and they ended up committing to something on there and it meant them missing out on that, I think would be quite a shame because it's such a great opportunity. So we eased back on that, knowing that this is coming. And again, after that, then there's been work going on behind the scenes for the lads to start getting website and everything hoofed up, especially when I'm back. But yeah, that's where we've been at with that. And I've reached the bottom. Are you going to post any teasers today? Yes, more than likely, buddy. More than likely, especially for the group. Well, you guys in the Miss Toyota event as well. And did I say? I'm sure there was something else I was loaded up. I was going to show you. Oh yeah, that's it. Right. So just before I go, so I need to start getting ready for the big event. NND. Honestly, I think I need to come and give these guys a bit of lessons in sexing fish. It's a great story, this one, but a great fish as well. Right, let me just get these images loaded up. So anybody there watching who's followed my channel for a while, 2 years ago, I was here in the summer and did that amazing pond of Kohaku with NND. And you might remember I ended up buying a Sankey and shower that was nestled in there. Very, very special shower it was. Really young. I think it was like about 4 months old at the time. And last year it got harvested and it was great. Looked great. I was told it was male. Never checked anymore. Just kind of didn't even bowl it up, looked in the pond. And I actually put it there and I thought, knowing what I was going to be doing, I thought, oh, great. That's a male fish. I'm very happy with the characteristics. Can potentially be in the pot for that. Get here. I was just here the other day. There was new fish. Makoto got new fish in. And I was like, right. Says, oh, what's in there? He says, oh, I think you've got one in here. I was like, right. Oh, is it the male pond then? No. Right. Female. What? Anyway, last fish out of the tank. The staff went, oh, this is best one today. And sure enough, it was my shower. And sure enough, it's actually female. I mean, how many times does that happen? For one, not very often. It actually happened again yesterday here with a customer's male that's now female. They're all going the right way as well for once. But in this instance, I'm probably the only person that's actually a bit gutted about that, because I now am back to, that was the one male I kind of had out here, and I'm now down to 0. Crazy. But let me show you. Let me remind you of the Tosai. Take that off. Oh, I can find it. So if you can remember it, that was the fish that I put. That was it there after we properly harvested it at 4 months old. Just dreamy, absolute top level, dreamy potential on that thing. Absolutely loved it. Like I say, looked good last year. But that is now how she looked yesterday. I did pull her up to get that picture. Absolutely insane. So that's the fish I was on about. The pond's not had a great result. But the reason that pond didn't have a great result is been battling with a bear around that particular pond, smashing the feeder up. So that's what's caused the problems there in that respect. What a fish. Absolute madness, that one. From that to that in 2 years, 65 cents. Now he knows it's female as well, and that's at that level. That'll get a top pond next year. So next year I'm excited. What you can't see on here is the size of the hump, the height of the fish on it is just an absolute madness. And I have even done, I'm not sure if it'll load up in that window. Let me just flick it back to that. Just a nice little side by side to have a look at. No, what's that doing? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Especially how that head pattern's formed. Can you believe where that memoir's formed, sort of in between that gap coming down? Just wow. And even for a female shower to have that type of intensity of Benny, this fish is absolute levels. Sumi development this year has been quite remarkable. So even now, you know how all that is going to change and improve. Now it's got some time in the concrete pond is going to be absolutely nuts. So hats off to them guys for that one. Roll on next year for it. Cannot wait. See, that's a little difference there. In this instance, here I would be giving that probably another month or two being raised just a bit more to help it recover probably a bit of that volume that it's not gained during the summer that it could have done before possibly chilling it out a bit. But again, that's not generally how it happens here. It's a different mentality and mindset, but just an example of how that would obviously massively impact how that fish was in spring, then even potentially rolling into the next summer. So there we go. Yes, stunning. Horrible mistake. Yeah, terrible one. I say, only person you're going to meet who's a little bit gutted about it. Absolute pleasure, Satch. And yeah, roll on. We will be starting, or I've got an hour and 20 minutes. So time to go and get some breakfast for me. I'm sure a lot of you lot need to be getting some sleep as well. Just to recap, make sure to know, you'll hear it on WhatsApp anyway, to be fair, but if you want to get involved in that Toyota stuff, you need to get yourself on the Koi Online website on Sunday. Don't miss that opportunity. As ever, I'd never know if I'm going to be able to repeat stuff or not. It happens in this job. You can never guarantee anything. But I think to get a Toyota Pandora Showa or one of those Naoko Kohaku or a Hiot Sori even for 300 quid and let me grow it for you for 3 months is a hell of a thing. So there we go. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to go and make another coffee, go and have a perv on. I've been picking a few fish out of obviously there's a fish house right next to me here of NND's. So Makoto's going to get hit today and he doesn't even know it, bless him. Yeah, the usual fun and games. So there we go, guys. And I'll get posted what I can today out in some of the groups, and I will catch you all when I am back home. Like I say, Japan videos. There's another journal dropping today from the past ones. Then hopefully we'll be into the new ones from Sunday onwards. Cheers, guys.